Hey friends, Todd Chipman here, Dean of Graduate Studies, Associate Professor of Biblical Studies at Midwestern Baptist Theological Seminary, doing a book chat here to think about Bobby Jamieson's newest, just a week out now. Everything is Never Enough, Reflections on Ecclesiastes. Here you've got someone with robust pastoral experience, extensive biblical knowledge, and an insightful mind here looking at Ecclesiastes. Jamieson argues, as we think about book chats and the ABCs, the argument, the benefits, and the concerns, the argument of the book is that we can understand the message of Kohelet in Ecclesiastes best if we look at the book from different levels or different angles. Those levels, Jamieson argues really with this architectural metaphor. In level one, we have the absurd theme of Ecclesiastes, literally vanity. And those themes throughout Ecclesiastes where Kohelet suggests in his view of life, everything is meaningless. Work can be meaningless. The pursuit of wisdom can be meaningless. You can have everything and yet be empty, and that's meaningless. And Jamieson argues that that pervades Ecclesiastes, and we need to understand and accept that, and understand that in some ways Kohelet is living life in Genesis 3 and 4, immediately after the fall, and everything is vanity. But that's not all that we have in Ecclesiastes. At times, Kohelet takes us to the second level, and there we are in Genesis 1 and 2. We are thinking about how God intended things to be and that everything is a gift. So level 1 is absurd, level 2 is gift. And Kohelet moves us between those levels regularly, without warning even. And we can look at level 2 and appreciate God and his gifts. Marriage is a gift. Work can be a gift. Contentment itself is a gift. To find pleasure in the day is a gift. And Jamieson helps us to appreciate that and then recognize that at times Kohelet takes us to that third level. Beyond is Jamieson's frame for that third level, where we think theologically, really. We think about fearing God and God bringing everything into judgment. And Kohelet can take us to that third level spontaneously, but especially at the end of the book, where we think about fearing God, we think about God bringing everything into judgment. And along the way, Jamieson interacts with modern sociologists, political theorists, lots of anecdotes thrown in, an easy to read book. This is the kind of book that if you have some educated friends who aren't believers and you want to do a book club, get this. It will help you to have a conversation with them. It's a great book. I think the benefits are there. You have an insight from someone, again, who has Christian experience, insightful with Scripture, and you can just read and follow along, really appreciate the framework, these tiers that Jamieson suggests. I think that's the benefit of the book. Concerns, there are no Scripture references. So we have quotes of the passages from Ecclesiastes, but no Scripture reference. So it's not really a good Bible study guide in that way. You have to have Ecclesiastes at hand and kind of be looking things up. In some ways, I concluded the book and I would wish that this were turned into a commentary with the maybe NIV application series or Crossway Expositor series or something like that, where we could have Scripture references right there. We could have application points along the way, would be so helpful. But the last note I want to make is the way Jamieson concludes here is just very helpful. Bring out the gospel, that the message of Kohelet ends, but that's not all God has to say. And judgment is through Jesus Christ, the mediator of it. And you have this subtle bringing in of the gospel, and then it's just unfolded in plain sight. Now, we all know that books like Jamieson, along with Tyler Whitman, Biblical Reasoning, Jamieson is an acute scholar, has lots of language of Scripture that he can bring in and the tradition of Scripture. But here it's just appropriate to the tone, exactly to the audience, and so well done and so clear, but makes me, as someone who enjoys his writing and his thought process, wanting more. And maybe that will come down the road. For more book chats, go to biblicalstudiesday.com. For more information on biblical studies resources, go to mbts.edu. See you next time.